talk about education now, and the minister says forget about formulating new policies and implement existing ones. That's Dr. Yao Educhum to newly inaugurated boards and committees under the ministry. Swearing in the new board of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, the minister noted the over-concentration on drafting policies with little focus on ensuring implementation is robbing the country's educational sector of real growth. With a gross tertiary enrollment of 18%, up from 16% in 2017, Dr. Yao Educhum wants the board to lead the pursuit of government's goal to achieve a 40% gross tertiary enrollment by 2030.
The African average is about 7%. Sub-Saharan Africa is about 7%. Ghana is 18%, but we should not be caught up in the African mediocrity syndrome. That says Ghana is better than Sierra Leone, Ghana is better than this country, therefore we are okay. No, we are not, because South Korea is 93.6%. And we are 18.8%. So the president's vision is very clear. His agenda is clear. It's left to us to put in implementation measures to get to that point. The Minister of Education, at this point, is not interested in policy. We want implementation. So you should, as council members, understand that everything that you have been tasked with it's about implementation. Your Director General should come to you at your meeting and report on implementation.
The minister also tasked the tertiary education boards to facilitate the establishment of a job placement and incubation center to assist in linking students to available job openings.
President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo has invested a lot in TVET. And as you go around the country, those of you who are new to this council, you're going to see the kind of equipment that are in technical schools. Sometimes you may not even find them in the universities. But I'm asking myself, are we tracking how many students are able to secure jobs as a result of this training? We seem not to be interested in that. We want to see that to the Ministry of Labor. No, it should stop. We should be interested in tracking how many students are able to seek jobs. And if they are not, who are the ones coordinating at the various institutions so that they can actually secure jobs? If a company in Ghana wants employees, where do they go to? If AGI members say we need 20 people that can do Thailand, who do they talk to? Is there one agency that they can work in and say, can you bring me 20 students and I'm willing to hire them? Together with GTech and National Service, I'm going to task you with the setting up of the Ministry of Education Job Placement and Incubation Center. Even if other universities are doing it, that's what I'm looking at. You should have a place where people can go and look for your people who you have trained.
Meanwhile, the Commission on Technical Vocational Education and Training says it will be running the German-like dual vocational training system by 2022. This is coming after years of state-sponsored trips to study the German TVET model, which fuses a mandatory industry-based internship with the theoretical training students receive in schools. Dr. Frechia Samoa is Director General of the TVET.
So if you look at the 5-year strategic plan for TVET, one of the policy activities or objective is to implement a modified dual TVET system in the country. We have started the work on the policy details and how it's going to collaborate with the industry. One thing we are really happy about is the fact that we have already set up the sector skill bodies, and those sector skill bodies are going to collaborate with us to be able to make sure that students either will be admitted through workplace or even, and if it's not workplace, at least 3 days of their time in the normal school setting will have to be at the workplace. So we are also working on the workplace certification so that at the industry side we have instructors that whilst the students who are working will understand the approach with which they can also help them learn. We have a technical team that have started working on it, and we'll be glad, management will be glad to present that proposal to the new board for their approval, strategic direction, so we can move into implementation to make sure that the next academic year or next year it will be part of our activities.
Thankfully, Dr. Chair Samoa joins us on Zoom for more on this one. I'm grateful for your time, Mr. Chair Samoa. We know this has been part of the Commission's 5-year strategic plan. Why is it that we've not achieved this and it's yet to be achieved?
All right, thank you very much. You know, in 2017, when this new government decided to transform the TVET sector, it had to go through a process. 2018, it did approve the 5-year strategic plan that spanned from 2018 to 2022. And, you know, you have to get some foundation work done to be able to implement some of the activities as enshrined in the 5-year strategic plan. Just to give a brief overview of the plan, it has 5 policy objectives: governance and management of TVET, quality of TVET access, funding or TVET financing. Then, of course, the last one is greening of TVET. Most of these activities, as you know, had to follow some steps. And I'm glad that we haven't left any of the activities idle. One of the activities that the dual TVET or the modified dual TVET falls under is the quality of TVET. Why? Because if you want to improve on quality, the standards that are set by the industry is what you use to be able to determine what they want. And as such, we needed to set up some bodies like the sector scale bodies, which the minister did talk about, which have already been set up. We need to attract the industry and get them interested. If you look at our side of the world, it has always been government that is putting so much money into TVET. But when you go to Germany, even though just about 20% of their industry is involved in TVET training, they put so much to support. They even end up paying students to go through the dual system. We might not be able to lift this and just drop it there. And we are excited that we are moving next to the implementation. The commission, which is made up of the former or SY, CODVET, and NAPTIS, has gone through this process, and the team that is working on it includes the commission, and we still have some team members from Germany that we are collaborating with. We also, go ahead.
No, you're still on the floor. Go ahead.
And so we're also not going to start just across board. We have to look at the industries that can have the enabling environment for us to be able to get students in there. We also need to set up other activities, because the workplace, not anybody that is doing work can transfer skills. So we also need to be able to have some certification or some capacity building for the industries that are going to be involved. We also have to look at the funding for this. How prepared is the industry ready to put in something to support government? We have companies like Siemens or BMW or Toyota that when you go to Germany, they do go through the dual system. They pay students enough that they can even use some to pay for their accommodation whilst going through the training for 3 years. How do we get it here to be able to be accepted by the industry so that they can support government?
What has been the response so far? What has been the response from industry so far?
Not bad, but I'll be glad to just let you know the sectors that we are seeking to pilot, which will be the tourism and hospitality sector, the automotive sector, construction, then of course apparel and industry. And we are going to begin this with 4 regions. And obviously, we will also start within the capitals of the various regions, whereby we can have the industry being part of the process. It's a good approach because it takes about 2 to 3 years for one to go through what we call the National Certificate 1 and National Certificate 2 on our National TVET qualification framework. If a student is able to spend about 3 years of their life with the company and the school, they get to understand the culture of the company. They get to also understand the detailed operations of the company. And the company also have 3 years to interview this employee of theirs to decide whether we will take on all the students that are going through the training or we'll let them go, because that will be able to know their strength, their weakness, and their capabilities to help that company to go up. We believe that when we start with the piloting and we implement the first phase, we'll be able to have enough success stories to encourage other companies to come on board. At the beginning, it's not going to be easy, but we needed to get all the basics done. We have got the basics done. The technical team has worked on the modalities for implementation, and we'll be glad by next year we'll be able to implement this.
Are you able to give timelines next year?
So we are looking at next year academic year. And you know, the 5-year strategic plan span up to 2022. We will be accounting for what government had put together for the 5 year as far as the TVET sector is concerned. Notable among them was the realigning of all TVET institutions to the Ministry of Education. I'm glad to say that government, with the support of Parliament, has passed the Education Regulatory Bodies Act, which set up the Commission for TVET. It has also passed the Pre-Tertiary Education Act, which also is going to set up a TVET service that will be responsible for TVET delivery at the pre-tertiary level. So these things have all been done. Yemi talked about improving quality, infrastructure upgrade is also ongoing. If you look at the huge investment that government has done in TVET over the few number of years, if we are to add the state-of-the-art TVET centers, where we're going to have 2 per each region, you're looking at close to about $1 billion just for infrastructure for TVET.
So certainly this is something that must happen next year, and you say it will begin next academic year. We'll be looking forward to that. Dr. Fred Asamoah is Director General of TVET.